Hey everybody, so this will be my part 2 with Astral Realm commentary. I look a little bit more alert. It is 12:30 p.m. now, whereas the first time I recorded it was 8:30. Anyways, so Astral Realm commentary, and what I left out in the last video, mind you guys, there's so much going on in my head when it comes to going into my job and coordinate an exercise program to individuals who, I don't know, might be showing up, and it's often a lot of individuals that show up, and channeled messages just never stop. It's like, it's just it's like diarrhea, you know. When it's here, it's here. When it's silent, it's silent. But I appreciate our gifts. I love our gifts. I will never not imagine not having them, because we have to evolve and grow, and someone's got to do it. And there was a video that I said, or a comment I said in a video 2 days ago: if we are being used, you know, by either side of the retrospect, then bring it on. Use me and play me. I am an instrument, but all that comes out of me is sound. So what I left out in the last video, because my mind was all over the place, what was it like being in the astral realm? Well, at first there was a guide, and the guide said, you know, many people are not allowed, most of anyone and everyone is not allowed on the astral plane. Astral travel is when you're out of body, you know. Astral projection is where you are transmitted from one location to another through the astral travel process. Sometimes you edit timelines, or you do future edits. You have deja vu in astral projection. But when it comes to the astral plane itself, it is like the temple of Shambhala, if you guys ever heard of that. It's kind of undetectable. You can't find it. It's almost like an invitation. So I was told that not many people could survive on the astral plane for a long time, because there's so many elements. It's almost like time and matter and breathing, they don't go together. Like, there's no it's more like and you're trying to exhale and you can't. Well, there's no time, so how could you breathe like you do here? You can't. So when I was permitted about 4 seconds in the astral realm, and I could not breathe. I remember waking up gasping in the physical, you know, right now, like in the consciousness we're in now. But in my mindset, my vision, I remember that day, and I never forgot that day, because it almost killed me in the physical human form that I am. It's crazy to think something that extreme and that strong. Well, I think also too, the vibration is very high and fast. And sometimes vibration like that is the speed of light, or it's as fast as gamma ray. It's like it's zero gravity. It's all that level. Flash. That's all I can really think of. So I was able to come back quickly, but I almost died. And I told the story in one of my videos how mystical I was in 2015. I really was. That was like my experimental year. It was also my dark night of the soul. I was doing a lot of things and trying out everything, and then going home like I'm just gonna turn my candle purple, and you know, it's just, I was just such a weirdo. I'm glad that's over. But I had a interview with a close encounter, allegedly, and that encounter scared the poop out of me, and that's what started to put me in line that this is no game. You can't play with the magic. You can't just play. You can utilize and use gifts if it's going to be a benefit to your life, if it's going to create abundance. But if you're just going to do it for no intent, sometimes something will appear to you and say, stop doing that, bye. So that's what happened. Anyways, but back to Astral Realm. I could not breathe. I saw what it looked like. It's very purple. Very, 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 very purple, and very long. Like, all I saw was just, it was just an endless field of purple. And I remember a staircase and a tower. That's all I remember. And further down is another staircase and a tower, and further. It just was going and on, going on. It was infinite beyond infinite. I know that there are 3 heavens, and there are 12 levels in between those heavens. And I finally know what those 12 levels are, which it just came back to me now. Because I remember before I did it, I did a channeling, wrote it in my journal. And in my journal I said there were 12 levels in between these 3 heavens. So there's about 6 levels before the first heaven, and then there's a 3 in between to the second one. There's another 3, and then there's the last heaven. And what I didn't realize was those were all densities, because I did a channeling a couple months ago about the densities, like what is 3rd density, 3rd density, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7, 8, 9, 11, and 12. There's no 10, because obviously 10 is 1. 1 is not a frequency. 1, it's kind of strange to say this, but 1 is kind of like, it's a Fibonacci sequence, because you can multiply and divide it in itself, and it equals itself over and over and over. So with that said, 1 is kind of like 4th dimension, because 4 is, it's etherical, it's metaphysical, you can't see it. So anything in infinity, you can't see it either. Like multiverses, there's so many multiverses upon multiverses, so you can't see a multiverse in a 3rd density in 3D. So that's how I kind of put 1 and 4. That's my own personal comment, is I feel as though I know what I'm talking about, and I think 1 and 4 is the same wavelength. I think 2 is, you know, 2D, 2 dimension. I think in the construct of hermetics and math and excuse me, biochemistry, logic, anything where it's calculated, it's its own, that's a density, but it's not a physical human. It's more of the science, if you guys know what I'm talking about. It's more of the biochemistry department. But you guys get what I'm talking about. The ancient hermetics and the like the Akashic records, I would say is a 2 dimension, because it's laid out, it's a file, and we receive that file, we apply it to ourselves. So, but I know physically, and physically solid, you know, liquid, gas, physically there's a 3. And then when you add on to the electric, etheric, and astral, you have 6, 7, 8, which is the diamond. I'm sorry, diamond is 5th, prism is 6th, light is 7, source is 8, 9 is travel, 11 is gates, portals, things like that, and 12 is when you can descend and ascend between densities of 8 to 11. So when you can go to source and open portals and go through and time travel and all that stuff, that's all like 8 to 12 is what the gift of being of a 12th level is. So people who say they're 9D clairvoyant and this and that, it doesn't mean physically that they're anything special, and I'm going to just own that, but it really means that they can tap into the conversation of a 9th dimensional entity. To me, that's what I understand 9D clairvoyant. Because some people, what they do is they create an avatar of themselves where they flash their cards, they can deal and do it. They're making this their own 9th dimension. But when you actually hook your pineal gland up to the sun and you want information, you get it. That's just how it goes. But a lot of people, they'll go to cards and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to define yourself as a 9th dimensional clairvoyant or 9D benevolent translator, you got to be able to do this stuff without anything in front of you, you know? That's why I love Ashira Star Goddess. I love you, girl. I saw your subscription to my channel. I'm so excited. But she'll sit right. I mean, you've done the homework. That's what I give credit to, is people like she and I, we read a lot. We study. It's my passion to know history, you know? Like Da Vinci, the Da Vinci Code movie was like my, not my all-time favorite movie, but it was like what I wanted to do for my passion outside of my regular job, which was just study ancient history and learn the mysticisms behind items and find the timelines and try to put pieces together. My all-time favorite movie, though, I would say is The Cell by Jennifer Lopez. And if you guys don't know The Cell, it's sort of like The Cell and The Matrix are very much parallel, but the Matrix is sort of like the mind within the mind, and the cell is like the mind in the cells of the body. So the cell does more detailed construct. That movie is sick. I'm gonna watch that on Hulu when I get home. Have you guys seen The Cell? I guarantee, like, if there's any kind of movie out there where I would tell you guys pay attention to every detail of that movie, it will be The Cell. It was such a great freaking movie, and the characters are awesome, the costume design is awesome, the cinematics. It's very simple and detailed at the same time, but I love that movie. Ugh. I like movies that really make you, like Doctor Strange. Oh, that made me think so much. And it wasn't like you had to go into theories and Google searching and all this stuff. It was just peachy key, where it just laid out images and illustrations, and all you have to do is just utilize what you already knew and put it together. So I thank people who are awakened on that director level and you know, they just lay it out, and I think that's just how it goes. Like, everything in your understanding, because I don't believe in you have a reality and that person has their reality, and we're all in oneness. If we're a oneness, we're of the same source, then we're all the same. We're all in the same reality. Speaking of reality, I'm going back to blonde as soon as I get home. I love my friend. I loved his experiment with wanting my hair blue, but I want me to be me the way that I want to be me. And it was nice to just kind of be indigo, but I saw it as a very interesting. No, it wasn't really like an attack, but I could see how entities utilize people, because entities want to touch you. Entities want to be you, feel you. They're curious to know, how do you know so much? But entities, they're kind of stupid, because they can't get into you. They can't get your soul. There's no way to hijack you, because if you've already came into this consciousness and you've already come into awakening, and those of us who are melanated, we're already like, we came with a safeguard and a safe shield of protection, but we have to be able to be aware of it and call on it and be present with it. Because when I was walking to my friend's hair salon, he was playing Beyonce, and you know, her aura, her vibe, all that's going on with her, I turn off to it. I don't even play her music. Anytime my Bluetooth pops on a Beyonce song, I have to turn it, because what she channels is on a huge magnified level, allegedly. I have a friend who does the ancient, she does like prayers to Oshun, just like Beyonce, because she was inspired by Beyonce to pray to Oshun. It's a I think it's an Ethiopian voodoo goddess. If you look up Oshun, she has like a belly dance belt. If you guys seen when Beyonce was pregnant and she performed, she wore a crown over her head. I thought at first that was Kali May, the destruction goddess, but I also can see how Kali May and Oshun are the same person. They just traveled to a different destination at a different time to bring destruction, but it's like she curses powerful women, and she embeds her, allegedly, she embeds her entity within the person. She utilizes that physical body. There's no soul there. So it's like you're looking at a lot of powerful women in music, and some actresses who tap into that because that's in their ethnicity or in their bloodline or in their data of their blood. I have to go inside of this place, but I'm gonna take the long way around. I'll go to another spot, because I've really just got into something heavy, and I want to make sure I verbalize things correctly. So I'll probably go for another 10 minutes of this video, 5-10 minutes. But long story short, when my friend was telling me a year ago, yes, Beyonce, Oshun, I'm like, ooh, oh no. So when the allegations came out about, you know, the drummer accusing, I don't want to say her name anymore, because I don't like to say her name too much, because spirits travel. And then music ends up being played around me. That's how I know, stay far away from that name. But when the drummer made accusations that there was witchcraft being used, blah, blah, and blah, I was like, yep, I believed it right away. There was no conspiracy theory about it. I think anybody who is tapped in, is what I like to call it, and is what I like to kind of say now to the camera. Anyone who's tapped in, they know. Even with the 2016 election it didn't matter whose side was the worse evil than the other. It was the fact that something was revealed that someone was using witchcraft to curse the other. And that's when I was like, that is below the belt. That is beyond evil. That is below. And it wasn't like it was made up. There was documents about it. And this is why I tried to tell my friend the other day. I'm like, how are you on my post on Facebook accusing me of being a conspiracy theorist when, you know, WikiLeaks showed it. It was classified. And the girl who performs these dark arts She admitted it on YouTube. She admitted it. And she still is doing so. She's teaching people how to do it. So the veil is down, in my opinion. The veil is down now. It was coming down during the last 8 years. And it's just kind of weird and funky to me that people do not catch on to. If there is even just a conspiracy about someone, you have to consider that is a threat to the voters. It's a threat to society. And what does it teach people? So you can see that there's a little Oshun in Madame Clinton, allegedly. I had to call her that because I don't want to say her first name. I don't want to attract bad energy. But the thing about it is, I was talking the other day about darkness and the difference between darkness, evil, spirits, and possession and demons and whatnot. It all starts with innocence. And let's say if you're walking in the dark, your guards are down, your senses are up high, the frequency is attractive because there's fear involved, right? So, and there's a confusion. There's a lot of innocence with darkness, but it's where it goes from there. That's the enabled part of the process of evil and possession and demonic attacks and spiritual attacks. And like when they say spirit of darkness, everything is in spirit. We are a spirit. I know people who, if let's say my vibration is really high, let's say I teach a dance class and someone's connected to me, if they don't realize how to let go of thinking about me or just to leave me alone mentally, emotionally, something will channel them and some things will happen with other people. It's kind of funky and weird. I hate it that way, but because I used to meditate sometimes. This is why I don't. A lot of times when I meditate, the next day somebody would tell me, I had a dream about you. You were wearing all white and you were just standing. You didn't say anything or do anything. And I just said, well, did you stop thinking about me when that was happening? No, I thought, it was just kind of like how you are, handsome and silly. I'm like, see, y'all. And it's scary. And that's why this YouTube platform, it doesn't frighten me. I'm just very cautious because putting myself and putting my face behind it allows people to channel my essence and my spirit. And for some odd reason, if I'm out of line or, stray off my path and someone feels the need to contact me because something they felt weird is weird, that's where I get funky. It's like, I don't want that to be possible. I don't want people like having weird responses because I'm, So when I had a false twin flame, because she was not and still is not my twin flame, but she keeps trying. But false twin flame kept trying to tell me, I know when you're with someone. And I'm like, ugh, I can't go on a date. I can't have coffee. I can't, go on Tinder and swipe right. But it's just, she was always in the neck. She was always like under my armpit. And it was like, I couldn't have my own life. And I don't know, like, people don't understand what can they do to your mentality when they are that extensive and annoying. It's like, no one asks for you to report everything that happens between what you are channeling. If that makes any sense, excuse me. But back to Astral talk. Everything on that etheric plane on the I was doing some channeling years ago. I didn't even know it was called channeling at that time. It gave me the name of was it Azusa? There's a crap. There's a city out here. It starts with an A, And that same name is the same name of, oh geez, I forget the name. But long story short, in Greek mythology, those paintings where everyone's in the sky and the heavens and they're pointing fingers and stuff, that's what it's called. It's the same, geez Louise, every road is blocked here. Oh man, that was a nice yawn. Grounding. Take advantage of your yawns, you guys. If you yawn like I just did, it just means time to ground yourself. Too much information. Anyways, thank you guys so much for adhering to my part 2. Hello, new subscribers. You know, I'm a very unpopular YouTuber, but I can feel the vibe that my channel will grow even more, and I'm gonna stay exactly how I am. But to the new people, you have a lot to catch up on, because some people in the beginning of subscribing to my channel, what happens is they bring a doubtful energy to the second, third, and fourth video that they witness. So let's say if this is your first one you're witnessing, the next 3 comes doubt, and it's like you have to give yourself a break, number 1. Number 2, stop looking for answers, because I think when people see my next video and I don't give information, then they, you know, unsubscribe, and it's like you can't do that. You have to be able to reson with your own self. Everyone's capable of information. Your dreams are there to translate things for you, and everyone has guides. So the next time you can't translate something, just say, hey guides, bring me clarity on what that was. And for some odd reason, it'll happen. It's a cute little apartment. This is how I learned to be where I am, and I still have a lot of growing up to do, to be quite honest with you guys. I speak like, you know, a dependable light bringer, but at the same time, I'm not even scratching the dent of what my potential is. That's the scary and the cool part at the same time. And I know a lot of information because I really knew how to, I knew how to astral project, I knew how to channel, I knew how to pray in depth, I knew how to ask my guides for assistance. I know how to create pillars of light from my pineal and crown to heaven. And a lot of people don't do that. They don't think that, you know, the connection to heaven, it's in you now. Heaven on earth is here. So a lot of times if I need relief of despair, or I need to get out of this mood, or I just want my upper constituents to acknowledge me, I just kind of send a white pillar from the crown of my head or my pineal gland all the way through to the epicenter of the gates of heaven, where it goes to the very opening gates. And I always try to imagine, allegedly, I like to imagine there's a child on the other side of that gate who's excited. What was that? I always try to imagine a child that's on the other side of the gate. Hi, he's back here. And him going, oh my gosh, Aaron, there goes Aaron, you know, because having to create a pillar imagery wise is very difficult, and to have it be your antenna where you connect to the divine and source, it takes some talent. So anyways, I gotta go. I'm getting sleepy. My grounding is calling me. So I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye.